Hi Orpheus fans, we're back again with a little preview of our 30th anniversary season. Our 24-25 artistic season is a really exciting one for us, and I'm here with my colleague Ruth Ritchie, our esteemed executive director, so that we can tell you guys a little bit about what you can expect in our 30th anniversary.
So it seems to me that we have been talking about the 30th anniversary season almost since you took the job about 2.5 years ago, and it's actually finally here, which is really cool to see it coming together. So this week, when we're recording this video, we're in the middle of the rehearsals for the Texas Choral Directors Association conference performance, and then the music that's being prepared for this will also be performed in October. So do you want to tell everybody a little bit about that program?
Yeah, we were really excited to get the invitation from TCDA, that's the Texas Choral Directors Association, to perform on Friday night of their annual summer conference in San Antonio. I have been going to this conference for years, started doing that when I was a high school teacher in Houston, and always enjoy this week in July where the choral directors in Texas get together and kind of rev themselves back up for another year, whether it's an academic one or a church one. So now we'll get to bring Orpheus down to San Antonio from Dallas to sing for them. I'm really excited for that opportunity. The music for this is a 25-minute program in San Antonio, and so what we decided to do was to make that 25 minutes about half of the program that we'll ultimately sing in our normal October concert to kick off properly our 30th anniversary season. The music is quite varied, and it has a kind of loose theme of occasion. I thought that one of the neat things about this October performance is that we will feature a premiere by Maxwell Kay, who is a young composer in New York City, and he won our composition contest that was adjudicated last spring. And we're really excited that he's writing a piece for us, and that'll be premiered in October, and so that's quite an occasion. And so I sort of thought that the TCDA occasion, the composition contest occasion, we would find some other music that was written for occasions. So I'll give you a couple examples. There are three in October. There are three amazing motets by Brahms for double choir that were written for a civic occasion in Hamburg, where Brahms was given an honorary title that pertained to the city of Hamburg. And we're doing a premiere, or not a premiere, but a performance of Ayanna Wood's piece "Closer Now." That was kind of a double occasion. It was inspired by the pandemic insofar as the commission required the topic to be about masks. And so she took an article from the LA Times and made an erasure poem out of it, and Chanticleer recorded that, and so it's a really neat piece by a young composer, American composer, and so I'm really excited to do that. And there are other examples of occasions. It's a fairly loose theme, but it's kind of a neat one to bind the program together.
And for the first time, Orpheus, or since you've taken over with Orpheus, we're going to Houston as well. We've been invited to perform at St. Martin's Episcopal down there.
I'm so excited about this. Yeah, the chance to take Orpheus to other cities in Texas, San Antonio this week, of course, and then Houston in October. One of our former singers, and relatively current, although recently moved away from DFW, is a director of the choirs at St. Martin's in Houston, and so they have invited us to come down and give a performance there, and I'm eager to give that because I think it's a neat opportunity for folks in Houston who are no strangers to great choral music to hear a great choir from Dallas. So I'm excited about that, and thanks to Keith Lathram for that invitation.
Yeah. So there's October, and then from then we're gonna move to Christmas, which of course you've always said that Christmas is one of your favorites with Orpheus.
It is, yeah. I guess some of that comes from just being a singer myself and coming up through the years of many Christmas events, whether they're services or readings and carols or concerts or whatever they might be. And you know, I have said a couple of times, and I'll say again happily, that I really love the tradition of Christmas with Orpheus. And so that's always an opportunity to bring familiar tunes, sometimes dressed up a little bit in a little bit fancier arrangement, to an audience that also appreciates really highbrow music too. And that's what I love about the Christmas music here with Orpheus, is that it's a nice mesh of texts that were intended for the season. Some are lofty, some are simple and sweet and warm, and I always love the buzz, the sort of feeling that's in the room at Christmas time from our audience.
And a lot of our audiences will be very happy to know that the organ is fully restored at St. Thomas, and so the organ will be back this Christmas for the sing-alongs.
Yeah, we took a little year off from that because the organ was being worked on last year, and so we'll get to sing along with our normal all sings with the organ again this year.
Yeah. So that's two. That gets us halfway through the 30th anniversary, and then things really ramp up and get extra exciting in the second half of the season. So we have a very unique opportunity in February and March that's going to see Orpheus paired with a whole bunch of other choirs. So if you want to talk about that.
Yeah, boy, that is. It's a busy spring. So we mentioned earlier the Texas Choral Directors Association has an annual conference. There's a national counterpart to that called the American Choral Directors Association that probably a lot of choral aficionados will at least know of. Every other year they do a national conference, and this year their national conference is being held in Dallas. And so we auditioned and were selected from a competitive field to perform for that conference, which is exceptionally meaningful to all of us who sing in choirs and who conduct choirs, because that organization is such a huge one in our country. You know, quite often there are between 5,000 and 6,000 choral directors that attend these conferences, and we hear the nation's best choirs on display. And so I'm really grateful to ACDA for the invitation for Orpheus to perform there. So once again, we decided, okay, so we have about a half an hour set for this conference. Why don't we do the same again and make our February concert, our normal kind of 70-minute February concert, include the music from the ACDA performance. And so we'll actually perform that for audiences in Dallas first in February, and then we will take a subset of that program and repeat it for the convention audiences in Dallas in March. The extra cool thing, which has developed pretty recently, is that one of our counterpart choirs, the Santa Fe Desert Chorale, which is one of the nation's finest professional chamber choirs, based in, you guessed it, Santa Fe, New Mexico, will be in town because they are headlining the conference that I just described. And so they're going to hang out an extra day or two, and then we're going to share a concert in March after our ACDA performances on a Sunday, where you'll get to hear two great chamber choirs share a concert, and we'll probably close with singing a couple things together.
I was going to say, we have to do something
Oh
together.
yeah, what a missed opportunity not to get to sing with the Desert Chorale.
Right.
Desert
and
Chorales, yeah,
you used to sing with Desert Chorale.
Yeah, for many years the Desert Chorale has held a special place in my heart. It was my first professional singing engagement, let's see, 25 years ago now, when I was an undergraduate. Spent a summer in Santa Fe singing with them for the first time, and sang with them as recently as 2 summers ago. And so it's a really important organization to me, and their conductor Josh Haberman is a longtime friend and mentor and colleague, and I'm really grateful to share that concert with him.
Yeah, that one will be really special for sure. Yeah. And then finally, to close out the season, we're not done yet. We still have one more very large project, actually.
In May, we will perform Eric Whitacre's concert-length piece, A Sacred Veil. This is a relatively new work that has gained a lot of attention. It's very special because Whitacre collaborates with a poet whose last name is Silvestri very often. And the poet's wife passed from cancer many years ago now. And so he wrote a series of poems and used some other sources in a multi-movement work that Eric Whitacre set to music for choir and piano and cello. And it's the story of the cancer journey. One that's sort of familiar to me because I lost my first partner to cancer about 16 years ago now. And so in that way it feels personal and special, but certainly I'm not alone. Cancer touches all of our lives in either glancing or very acute ways. And I think that for that reason, it'll have very wide appeal. It's an honoring of the process from diagnosis to loss. There's hope, there's sadness, and there's a lot of tenderness. And I think that there may be some opportunities for us to partner with other organizations in Dallas to help bring this to audiences, and I'm eager that we're exploring some of that. And I think it's a beautiful way to end our season. Maybe a little different from a really kind of traditional lighter spring concert. It is a heavier subject matter, but one that I think people will be eager to hear. Certainly anybody who loves choirs knows Eric Whitacre's name. And so for him to present this sort of hour-long work on such a important topic, I think will appeal to a lot of people. And so my hope is that everyone will look forward to that.
Yeah. So we're running the range, like you said, everything from tender to celebratory to the holidays. Is there any one piece or program that you're in particular excited about for the season?
Yeah, those are always tough questions.
I know,
it's
I like
hard,
asking them.
Yeah, and you know, the kind of canned answer is whatever I'm working on at the moment. But I don't know. Yeah, it's hard to say. I mean, last year was a little easy because we were looking forward to Rachmaninoff All Night Vigil that we sang in March. This year's a little more difficult, and it truly will be kind of a journey for me from one thing to the other. So I can't say that there's one thing I'm looking forward to more than the other, but certainly all of it I am.
Yeah, I feel like it's a season that's going to hopefully offer something for everybody, and no matter how much they know about choral music and how much they know about Orpheus, there's many ways for them to come in and enjoy what the season's going to be.
I think so. I mean, celebration in terms of our 30th anniversary, celebration means many, many things. I mean, it's all not necessarily happy, clappy, you know, it's honoring, you know, it's revering, it's it's expanding, it's including, it's welcoming, you know, it's just an acknowledgement of the accomplishment of this really beautiful organization, Orpheus Chamber Singers, over the last 30 years. And you may have intended to ask me about this, but I'll just go ahead and say right away, it's not a small thing for an organization like ours to be around for this long. There are a lot of sort of upstarts that have great ideas and beautiful art, and for one reason or another they don't it doesn't sustain for longevity wise. And it's really special that Orpheus has been around this long, and a testament to all the people whose vision created it, and to the volunteer hours of the folks who helped make it a real thing, to its artistic leadership for so many years in Don Crable, the founding artistic director, to the many, many of my colleagues who have sung in this choir for the last 30 years. It takes a great amount of love and care to nurture and sustain an organization like this. And then, it would be remiss not to sort of hold up in one way the most important is all of the supporters in the city who have attended concerts for 30 years, or some portion of that, who have given money, given resources, given volunteer hours. None of us take that for granted. I know you don't, I know I don't, I know our singers don't. It's a big deal.
It is a very big deal, yeah. Yeah, and I'm, along with you, I'm very much looking forward to celebrating all of those people this season, as well as producing, hopefully, these wonderful concerts.
Me too.
Yeah, we look forward to seeing you soon.